Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're getting right into the nitty-gritty of organizational planning. We're going to break down the absolutely crucial relationship between strategic pricing and organizational cost management. So let's dive right in and look at how businesses actually structure their offerings and really unpack the details of the core mechanics behind those big decisions.
Now, before we even think about crunching numbers or looking at market trends, ask yourself, what really drives business decisions? Like at the core, is it just a gut feeling, some basic competitor analysis, or is there a deeper structural mechanic at play here? Figuring out what genuinely moves the needle inside an organization is exactly what separates the reactive companies from the truly strategic ones. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. First up, we'll uncover the essence of price. Second, we'll examine cost in decision-making. Third, we'll explore some pricing strategies. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the strategic planning takeaway. Let's do this. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the essence of price. So what exactly is the essence of price? Well, basically, it's the fundamental conceptual value that price represents within your organizational planning. It's not just some random number pulled out of thin air, right? It's the ultimate expression of how an organization values its own offerings, its time, and its market positioning. When businesses really dive into the details of this topic, they're looking hard at perceived value versus actual utility. Because honestly, without locking down this conceptual weight first, any pricing strategy you build is going to be super fragile. In fact, our source material makes this super clear, stating explicitly that participants would learn the essence of price. This tells us that defining this conceptual value isn't just some fluffy, abstract luxury. It's literally the absolute prerequisite learning objective before you can even begin to plan. You've got to lock down how you measure that value conceptually before you apply a single financial metric. Moving right along to Section 2, cost in decision-making.
Now, this brings us to a really fascinating dynamic. It's kind of like a tug of war at the heart of organizational planning. On one side, you've got the conceptual, outward-facing value you want to project to the world. But on the other side, you have the hard, cold, internal reality of what it actually costs to deliver that value. You just can't effectively plan for one without a really deep understanding of the other. The outward perception you want is entirely reliant on a strict internal foundation.
So how does this internal foundation work in practice? Well, it relies on a strict two-step mechanic. First, you have to thoroughly evaluate the impact of cost. That means tracking exactly what resources are being consumed, analyzing everything from overhead and raw materials right down to human capital. Then, step 2. That rigorous evaluation directly drives the business decision process. It tells you what's actually financially possible, drawing the absolute boundaries of reality for your outward strategy. All right, let's hit Section 3, exploring pricing strategies. This is where the theory bridges right into action. Participants are given exposure to the market through different types of strategies, applying their organizational planning directly. You take that strict internal knowledge of your costs, combine it with your conceptual understanding of price, and apply them both to the wild, unpredictable reality of the open market. It's all about translating your internal planning into actual competitive positioning. Because let's be real, the market demands different types of pricing strategies. A one-size-fits-all, monolithic approach, yeah, that's never going to be enough. What crushes it today might completely fail tomorrow. Organizations have to stay incredibly agile, shifting their strategies, whether that's penetration pricing, a premium positioning, or value-based models, all based on an ironclad grasp of their internal costs and their constantly evolving place in the market. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 4, the strategic planning takeaway. Let's pull this all together and map out this logical journey. Step 1, you secure your internal foundation by relentlessly analyzing the impact of cost. Next, step 2, you define your conceptual value by grasping the essence of price. And only then, in step 3, can you safely implement your external market pricing strategies. It's a progression. If you try to skip a step, the whole foundation just crumbles. If you remember only one thing from this explainer, make it this golden rule right here. Cost impacts the process and price drives the strategy. It's a super punchy takeaway that perfectly solidifies this relationship. Think about it. Your internal costs inevitably dictate the processes you can afford and the margins you have to hit. But the conceptual essence of your price, that is what ultimately drives your overarching market positioning. They work in tandem, but they play very distinct vital roles.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final provocative question to chew on. How will the impact of cost and the essence of price shape your next market strategy? Take these concepts out of the theoretical realm, dig into the details, and apply them directly to your own business decisions. Are your current strategies genuinely grounded in a firm understanding of both internal cost and conceptual value? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to break down the ideas that shape our world.